Thanks for checking out this YouTube video. This is taken from a webinar we did with a lady called Kate Sun, who is an intellectual property lawyer based in Sydney in Australia. She did it for the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. If you want to find out more about Kate, there's some links underneath. We've also got a lot more from Kate as far as protecting your Amazon business, trademarks, intellectual property, patents and things like that. So make sure you subscribe to this channel to find out more. With that being said, let's get on with the video.
So the different types of IP that are relevant to Amazon, when I was back working in a patent attorney firm, one of our clients was Dyson, and I absolutely love all of their branding and the whole brand identity that they've set up and their IP portfolio. So I thought I'd use Dyson as an example of the different types of IP that are relevant to Amazon. So the first one is patents. So patents, they protect the inner workings or the function or the methodology, or in the sort of pharmaceutical sense, the composition or the compound structure and things like that. Now, in a patent, you'll see these types of diagrams here that, let me just take it down one bit, that basically really show the blueprint of what your invention is. They have a particular function, and a patent, you will get a granted patent for 20 years and you'll get that monopoly in exchange for teaching the world about your invention. So it's a bit of a quid pro quo. Probably the most relevant to Amazon is a trademark, and I'll go into most of the detail of the presentation around trademarks. It's a protection of your brand identity. It can be a name or a logo. It could be a bit of a combination of both. Trademarks, I'll go into some of the more unusual ones just very briefly later on, but trademarks form the foundation of your brand. So this is, the simple Dyson word mark, and then there's also Dyson logos and other things that are used. Copyright is really important for Amazon as well. So it protects things such as, it protects creative works. So creative works are described as things such as photos, literary works, which covers books and writings, software, those sorts of things. So this here is an advert of Dyson's. So this would be protected by copyright in terms of its layout and its content. So the photograph in there would be covered by copyright, as would be, the actual layout, description, etc. So like in Amazon, if someone tries to use your your listings verbatim, then you should be able to do a copyright infringement notice. And designs, they're another one that's important for Amazon. Designs protect the aesthetic appearance of a product. So this is just showing, different views of what the Dyson hairdryer looks like. The designs can be very, very relevant and important to your whole brand identity. For example, the Coca-Cola bottle, the shape of that Coca-Cola bottle, it's known worldwide and it's protected by a design. If they changed the design or the shape of that bottle at all, then it wouldn't be protected by that particular design. You have to then file another design covering the variations or the modifications, because it's a snapshot of that particular product at any one point in time. So it's preventing someone from being a copycat. But these are the different types of IP that you'll come across that is relevant to Amazon. That's not to say that there are not other forms of IP out there. There are, but these are the ones that we're just going to focus on tonight. So in terms of patents, I'm not going to go into details about patents, but I just thought of relevance here is the type of patent searches. So sometimes people come to me and go, oh, I need a patent search. And I go, okay, well, what sort of search are you looking for? Because it depends on what you're wanting, will depend on the nature of the search that would be undertaken. So if you're thinking about filing a patent, like if you think that you've got something that's inventive and you haven't ever seen a product out there like yours on the market, so you might want to consider filing a patent yourself. So you would then consider doing a novelty or a patentability search to determine if there's anything similar that's already been patented which could block your patent. And even if the patent is no longer registered, so it could have been filed, 80 odd years ago, so it's well out of its protection date, it's still going to prevent you from getting a patent these days. So that's one type of search. Another type of search is if you're intending on selling or manufacturing a type of product, but you want to make sure that you're not going to infringe someone else's patent, then you might want to do a freedom to operate search, or it's also called an infringement search, but most people call it a freedom to operate or an FTO search. And that will see if you are, quite clear to go and manufacture or sell that product and not have any fear of someone coming after you with, an infringement claim. The thing to be very mindful of, like trademarks, is that patents are jurisdiction based. So what that means is that you need to search in each of the countries that you intend to either manufacture or sell in to see if they've got those patents, because they're very country specific. So you'll get the slides, you don't need to copy these down, but here are just some patent resources for the various different patent offices. Here's a link to the Google patents. You can do a search there. The problem is that, yes, any individual can just go and search a patent, but the problem is that patents are written in a really specific language. So if you look at the claims of a patent, they're not your average English language. They're actually quite a made up patent specific language. So just because you do a search and can't find the keywords to whatever your product is in any patents out there does not mean that there's a patent out there. For example, patents are not written saying, a plastic toolbox having a shelf and having a handle, etc., etc. It would be a device having the potential to hold tools, comprising a shelf and a carrying means, that sort of thing. So just because you can't find it yourself doesn't mean it's not there. So if you want to be 100% sure that something is not patented and that you're not going to infringe, then you might want to consider getting a professional search done.